Tonight on Trent Kill Radio, a confused mother lashes out at Mastodon, Aaron Lewis behaves like a normal human being for once, and Imagine Dragon singer's feelings are hurt. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo. All this and more coming up on Trent Kill Radio.
People will bow to it.
What's going on, everybody? This is Trent Kill Radio. I am your host, Sean Ryan.
And I am Jimmy.
We are from Cleveland, Ohio. Make sure you subscribe right now. Let's just get into it with Mastodon. There was a hilarious correspondence note recently between Mastodon's guitarist, and I apologize if I am butchering this guy's name, Bill Kellier or Bill Keller. I don't know, sorry, we'll just say Kellier. There was a mother that had reached out to Mastodon via Facebook.
Carol.
Yes.
From HR.
No, of course her fucking name is Carol.
And I knock on her door and I say, Carol! Carol!
There's no Carol!
Not only do all these people exist,
But they have been asking for their mail on a daily basis.
Carol had reached out to Mastodon, the band, and confused them with another Mastodon, which is what?
a social media platform online. I don't know, it's a nerd thing. It's for people who like work on servers and things like that. Anyways, it's nothing like the band.
Yeah, they're based, there's many of these Mastodons throughout the world or whatever. It's a large organization, but that's besides the point. Carol's son had applied for a job and was told by Mastodon that he was going to get one. Well, I guess it didn't work out for him. So Carol, being the helicopter mother that she is for assuming a grown adult son, pitched at Mastodon and found their Facebook page. Again, the band Mastodon. I will show you the correspondence and just have it possibly narrate it myself because this is fucking good.
What a wordsmith she is too. Just a little expert. Fuck you, you dirty cumbags. You should be ashamed of yourself.
She starts off the story with going, why, fuck. You are nothing but dirty. Fuck you, you dirty cumbags. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Oh, wait, no.
Yourself.
You know social media can be such a helpful way to ruin someone's fame, you damn motherfuckers.
Wow, Carol, you work with children? What's with the foul language? Why would you send us such a message?
No, I don't work with children. I sent that message because you all scam my son, and I don't take kindly to professionals who treat people badly.
We scammed your son? How so? And that's your professional, quote, response? Are you an adult? Your spelling is horrendous, by the way.
You offered him a job and then sent him on a wild goose chase back in January 2019, and don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about.
Carol, you are speaking to the band. Can you please provide specifics? Who gave him a job? Doing what? The band was in Europe in January. We aren't hiring anyway, so unless you provide some sort of proof, I call total bullshit.
Carol had no idea she was talking to the band. She thought she was talking to the social media platform Mastodon, like I said, based out of all places around the globe. You know, her son clearly just wasn't good enough. Maybe he didn't have the right amount of credentials or whatever it may be. I mean, don't fucking cry about it, and don't flip out on somebody, even if she was talking to the real Mastodon,
right?
The social media Mastodon or whatever.
And
is that a way that's going to help you at all? That's gonna like put a red flag on your son's fucking profile,
right?
You know, I imagine word would get around a little bit.
And how old and out of touch are you that you directly message what you think is the company and just start talking like that? Like they're gonna assume like you know what you're talking about.
Should have been like, sorry, new number, who dis?
Right.
It's just terrible. Oh my god, I would hate to have a mother like my mom. Anything that like I ever screwed up, whatever the case may be in life, she'd be like, well, yeah, that's like, you're an idiot. No, she never said that, but it would be my own goddamn problem. She would never like stick up for me like in that kind of sense where she'd be like violent and crazy and shit like that and hunt down the people responsible for hurting my son. But Carol, my baby. But Carol, she is. It says at the end of the article, and I'm just gonna paraphrase it, but basically we probably won't even find out whatever came of this. I assume she tucked her tail between her legs, figured out who the fuck she was actually talking to, and then just went.
Right. She bailed the conversation, I think, since the band just scrapped the thread because they don't even want to deal with it anymore. In related news, Mastodon's about to head on the road with Coheed, who actually just came to Cleveland recently. I missed that show, but like,
Coley was there.
Yeah, Coley was there, and I've heard nothing but good things about the show and the tour so far. Also, another quick note on Mastodon before we go. Apparently, they are scheduled to release a cover of Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven for Record Store Day. Keep an eye out for that.
I'm not a fan of Led Zeppelin. I know, oh, what an antichrist I must be, but I hear a few people are.
Next story. Trendkill Radio favorite Aaron Lewis
Oh,
in the
God.
news again.
I'd love to. I just want to thank everyone that as soon as I said Aaron Lewis at the beginning of the show, if you didn't click off and you're continuing watching, thank you. You the real MVP. But Aaron Lewis, this is actually a decent story about Aaron Lewis for once, because as we have talked about Aaron Lewis throughout this past over year that we have done this show, he is not a fan of us. We don't like him either. It's common for us to say, fuck you, Aaron Lewis. But, he actually had a pretty decent story of being a pretty nice guy for once. And it was a very nice sentiment that he had praised Fred Durst. And I know that seems kind of hard to do, but I think Fred has, since his fame has dipped, I heard he was a very nice guy. And then when they started blowing up, he turned into a real prick. And then after, Wes Borland left and they got the snot guitarist and stuff, he started getting humbled again. Recently, Aaron Lewis was doing a show, his fucking country show, yes, I know, where he plays a lot of his new outlaw country. A couple Stain hits, Stained Underpants. Hits. Following a performance of the Stain song Epiphany, he had talked to the crowd. I quote, "How crazy is it that Billy Zane is the lead character in that?" Referring to the music video, which was done by Fred Durst. Continues the quote, "Fred spent like $1.5 million on that fucking video. Dumb shit. There's so many ways I could have spent that money." Billy Zane, if you guys didn't know, he was in Titanic, which I don't know what part he did, but he was also in one of my favorite movies, Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, as the demon. Badass. That guy should have won an Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
And a fan in the audience yells out, "Fred's an asshole!" But Lewis, he heard that.
So Lewis replied, quote, "No, Fred's the whole reason I'm sitting in front of you tonight, and I gotta say that at this point in my life, I call Fred when I need, Dalai Lama advice for real." And he continues to say, "Fred is fucking awesome. He really is. He blows my mind every fucking time I talk to him. He does. I'm very thankful. I'm thankful that after I offended the fuck out of him, because I did, the first time we ever met, I offended his ass band, and I'm very grateful."
His ass bad? His ass band.
His ass band.
Limp Bizkit, Ass Band
Man.
is the new album.
Yeah!
Yeah! Cold Cobra!
The first time we ever met, I offended his ass bad, and I'm very grateful that he was able to get past that. Every time I hear someone yell something back about Fred, I just want to screech to a halt and be like, what? That's the reason I'm here. I'd have given up a long time ago, I think, and I probably would have written songs that made my kids laugh, and I would have been okay with that.
He had said, "Fred is the reason why I'm here, so any fucking hate that you may harbor in your heart for no reason whatsoever, because you don't even know the boy, let it go. He's all right in my book." And then he began to strum a guitar going, "I love Fred." True story. No, I swear to God. No, that wasn't just me being a dick, but that's how he sings. He continues with the story where he goes, "This is what kind of motherfucker he is. Did any of you know that he lost everything in that West Coast fire that just happened? Everything. He drove his Harley Davidson away from his house because he couldn't even get his car out of the garage. That's what kind of motherfucker he is."
Up yours, children.
You don't know that. Nobody knows that. He lost everything in that fire, so don't hate on a motherfucker. Which, you know what? My heart does go out to him. That would be just the worst thing. He didn't go on record and cry about his fucking woes like we'll talk about in the next story. But that is admirable, and that sucks a lot for Fred. So that was actually the one nice thing that I've heard about Aaron Lewis in the past ever. And now for our third and final story, we have Imagine Dragons, and this is my favorite story. I love this so much. I do. I love it.
I'm just asking for it.
Imagine Dragons, I don't like them. I think their songwriting is pure shit. I think they are just shade under mumble rap in terms of musicianship.
Would you consider them above or below Nickelback?
Below. Yeah.
I would rather stab myself in the taint than hear another Nickelback song.
And I want to say for the record, I was early on this. You can go back and watch some of our previous episodes. Before anyone had compared them to Nickelback, I did. Right here. You heard it here first on Trend Kill Radio by Sean Ryan. This guy. I fucking nailed it. And then you know what I see? A couple weeks ago, I see Corey Taylor going, Imagine Dragons, they're the new Nickelback. Corey, you fucking stealing my shit. All right? And it's bullshit. I want credit. Credit where credit's due. Anyways, recently, Imagine Dragons, they have become a worldwide phenomenon. I get it. They can span from rock stations to pop stations to alternative stations. They are all across the board on the radio. The songs are catchy, but I just think it's trash. Take a look at the lyrics for Thunder. It's retarded. Right here. You'll see it right there. recently they have grown in popularity, but a lot of other rock bands, like 1975, Foster the People, Smashing Pumpkins, Slipknot, they have all just come down on him. Corey Taylor being the most notable one because he is very outspoken and just saying that this band is the new Nickelback, and he thinks that's great. You know, I kind of agree. The singer for Imagine Dragons, Dan Reynolds, has spoken up and addressed such criticism where he considers this to be extremely harsh. And he says, and quote, "For a decade now, I've dealt with the critics and other bands saying extremely harsh things about my band. Now, what I would call fair criticism, which I always try my best to receive and learn from, but actually clickbait horseshit. Words filled with vile and hate, meant to feed humanity's need to laugh at each other's imperfections and fails. And fail should have been capital F, but it wasn't."
He goes on to say, "I've stood silently and taken it for years." That's what she said. And it added to the depression I've dealt with since youth. I don't say this in search of sympathy, but just as a fact.
You almost made me spit out my beer.
And he goes on to say, "It's not the person that causes me the feelings of stress and depression, but what it does to the world we as a band have created. How could it possibly make a kid feel not cool listening to Imagine Dragons? I hate that thought. Wondering if my kids will be made fun of as they grow older because someone thinks my band isn't cool."
Yeah, Reynolds called out, the bands that we had listed before, and quote, "I've gotten over the fact that guys in other bands feel a need to talk badly about my band for whatever reason. I don't feel any anger towards them, actually, just more sadness that the industry embraces, even celebrates this mentality. I wish it felt like a place where artists stood by each other and supported one another regardless of our different tastes and voices." That's basically the slim skinny of the story, but I mean, if we're gonna get down to brass tacks about it, it bothers me so much because Imagine Dragons is not a band like Seven Dust that are road warriors that need to be out. Like I was just talking about with Doyle last week, that need to be out and touring constantly, pushing their lives completely to the side in the sake of touring and making money because that is their livelihood. Imagine Dragons, they're getting paid. They're making money now, okay?
Right.
They're doing well. I wouldn't say it's not like Metallica or Kiss money or anything, but they're making enough to have a living and that they can have kids and a nice home and, live a pretty comfortable life, whereas a lot of bands that we, that you and I love that have probably been around for 10, 20, 30, 40 years that are, still just out touring because that is their only source of income, that really have it hard. This guy, he's got a cushier life, and he's crying about it, and he asks, "Oh, I don't want sympathy." Well, then why are you reporting on it, you fucking pussy? If the heat is too hot, get the fuck out the kitchen. It bothers the fuck out of me that this guy has the balls to come and go, just this is further aiding in my depression that I've had forever. And I don't want to take mental illness lightly. I understand that. People have anxiety, people have depression. There are people with real problems. And this guy is just dude, here's the world's smallest violin that I'm playing for you. Think about other people that are in the limelight. You think Daniel Tosh, the hate that guy must get. He's had that show, Tosh.0, for a decade. People just fucking loathe him and just rip him apart on Twitter. You think he gives a hot shit? No. He toughs it out like a man and he fucking deals with it. You think Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, which we have all collectively said to The Simpsons, "You are not funny anymore." America as a whole has said this show is not what it used to be. You think he cares? No, he's gonna go sleep on a mattress full of fucking $100 bills. If you are in entertainment, you have to have thick skin. Jim and I did a show where the main story was social distortion, and I personally got a few facts wrong. We got roasted. You know what I did? I turned off the notifications because I don't fucking care. I sleep comfortably at night. I'm gonna be just fine. And just think about just all the kids that perhaps there are younger people that are in high school that are watching this. Everybody knows what it's like to go through high school. They got it way worse. You're gonna complain about how people don't like your band and we need to be joined together in a society of music. Fucking cry about it, dude. He really bothers me because not only for this story, but every time I see him, he is always being just such a little bitch about things. It's I can't believe people are saying that thing about someone. Fucking deal, man. You want to be on the internet, you want to be famous, that's the price. Back to you, Jim.
I got nothing. You soapbox so much. I have no interjection.
People have problems. I understand. I just don't have any sympathy for them. And Nickelback, fucking, they've handled it actually pretty well, and they've been getting ripped on for what, like 6 years?
Shut up!
Pretty much their entire career
Yeah.
ever since they made it.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
That's a valid point. I mean, Nickelback knew how to let it roll off their back. It's like, I don't give a shit. I'm making all this money. I'm still fucking selling out concerts. It's like, what the fuck does it matter if people are fucking tearing me up on social media? I don't give a fuck about these people.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you didn't like it. You still paid the ticket for admission, and I'm still getting paid.
That is all the time we have for this week's episode of Trendkill Radio. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like the video, like our page, subscribe, share it with your friends, tell everybody you know, baby. Go to facebook.com/TrendkillRadio216 and go like our page. And that's it. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I am Sean Ryan,
And I'm Timothy.
and this is Trendkill Radio.
People will bow to it.
Well, Carol had... I can't stop. Chad Kroger marries Avril Lavigne and gets drunk. Whatever.
Right. Well, they got divorced, but
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
I still
but-
got to hit that.
yeah.